Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
This morning I was thinking how this seminar was in comparison to other seminars, other retreats. And I was thinking that one difference is in other retreats we have better arrangement for classes, like which we could never arrange in Australia. Generally, in other retreats we have in hotels, and the hotels have a banquet hall, and we have some hotels have 2-3 such halls. One hall we turn into temple room, one hall we turn into the classroom, and one hall we turn into dining room. So, depending on how big the hotel is. And but one common thing that we generally have is that we have a room which is a temple room where everybody assembles. And the classrooms are also not sitting on the floor, but we have chairs and table, and not tables, but chairs. So the organizers try to make some better arrangements. Australia has facilities, I'm sure. Only thing is that you have to search out. Yesterday I was talking to Ro, and I was telling him that this is the best facility we could find. He said, no, you didn't search enough. So that means we just did not really search enough, and probably he can help. He's a person, he has a lot of contacts. So he was telling me that we could have better facilities than this. Of course, I don't know how much that would cost. But anyway, you all are rich people. So, anyway, so that's one thing I thought, that it makes a big difference when you all get together here for Mangalarati. The purpose of this seminar is actually to take you out of your house and bring you to a temple atmosphere. So it's not always possible to have these seminars in a temple because we don't really have the facilities. But what we try to do is create a temple atmosphere wherever we go. We turn the hotels into temples actually. Won't it be wonderful? So this is a good start. We convert the hotels into temples, then we will take out big palaces and big everything and make them into temples of Krishna. In Calcutta there is a Victoria Memorial, big. They have built it in kind of in similar model as Taj Mahal. And Prabhupada used to go there for morning walk. Then Prabhupada one day suggested, it would be nice to turn this into a temple. I mean, Victoria Memorial. Ultimately it's a ghost house, isn't it? I mean, where is she? If at all she's around. Like, at least she is not there as Victoria, Queen Victoria. She is there, either she has taken birth somewhere else, or if she is present around, if she is still around, then she is around as a ghost. Right? When one doesn't get a body, that means he remains in a ghost body. So, people don't really know this science. But therefore, all the great facilities should be turned into a temple. Like big buildings, you know, like in Paris there is La Louvre, big museum, art gallery. But they have simple collection of arts. I mean, won't it be nice to turn those buildings into temple of Krishna and let everybody come and chant Hare Krishna there? Massive kirtan. And kirtan sounds so nice. Everybody becomes enlivened when there is kirtan. Especially when Shubha Krishna leads it. I was listening to it from and so that is the future of this world. Krishna consciousness is the future of this world. What can solve all the problems of the world today? Every day the problems are becoming more and more critical. Problems are becoming intensified. They're trying to solve, but they're causing more problems. Their solutions are actually problematics. So the only solution is Krishna consciousness. And to make that point, sometimes it may sound, well, Maharaj is a fanatic. He thinks that Krishna consciousness is the answer to everything. But yes, Krishna consciousness is the answer to everything. A simple consideration. Ever since you took to Krishna consciousness, did your problems get solved?
Yes.
Huh? Okay, let's see the yes. Raise your hand. Okay, so did you raise your hand?
I raised this hand.
Okay. So I was joking. She had so okay, so if some principle works in some area, producing certain result, if we apply that same principle on a larger area, won't it generate the same result? So by Krishna consciousness, by accepting Krishna consciousness, your problems have been solved. Right? Confirmed? Now if everybody takes to Krishna consciousness, will everybody's problems be solved? If the whole world becomes Krishna conscious, will there be any problem in this world? Simple as that. It would be nice to have a meeting with those terrorists and convince them, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. You're not going to be happy with your guns and grenades. Chant Hare Krishna. You'll be happy, others will be happy. But what you are doing, you are unhappy and you are making everybody else unhappy. That is what is going on. And the atrocities that are going on in this world is unimaginable. Like, can you imagine things like today, more than 50% of the people in America believe that the Twin Tower catastrophe was caused by the American government. Can you imagine the US government destroyed that building, causing the death of thousands of people for reasons that nobody knows why. And the understanding is very, they're thoughtful people, they're educated, they can understand that if a plane enters into a big building and the heat causes the building to collapse, then where the heat will be most intense? Where the plane entered. Then how come the building started to collapse from the top? Have you seen how the Twin Tower collapsed? From the top it started to collapse. How? Generally what would happen? The building would break maybe. In the middle, it would just break because the heat is generated in the middle. Another thing is, the amount of fuel that an aircraft carries cannot possibly make such a building to collapse. So who did it? Who did it? That's the big question. Somebody did it. It's not just the aircraft entering into the building that made the building collapse. Somebody put dynamites in critical places and caused the building to collapse in that way. Just in one go, both the buildings came down the same way. So this is the world we are living in. The government don't really care about the lives of the citizens and the welfare of the citizens. And these governments are elected by the people. Anyway, Kali Yuga. Our answer is Kali Yuga. We should be prepared for the worst. We should be prepared for it. Because this is inevitable. Kali Yuga, this cannot be avoided. Actually, when Ravana and all those people were there, they actually took care of their own followers. Ravana was very popular among his own people. His activity may be atrocious, but he was popular among Duryodhana. He was popular among his own people, because he was taking care of them. So we see even these demons take care of their own people. But today's demons don't care of their own people. They're simply concerned about them. They're very, very selfish interest. Anyway, so let's go back to Krishna's pastimes and let's get enlivened in this terrible situation. And that's true, like when we think of Krishna, we get such reassurance. We'll take care of Krishna and he will take care of us. We have nothing to worry about. And if at all something happens, so what? It's just a matter of changing this body. Like when Calcutta was about to be bombed by the Japanese during the Second World War, because Calcutta was a big base of the British Army. So the Japanese were thinking of bombing. There was a threat of bombing of Calcutta. And everybody was evacuating from the city. How many of you know what Prabhupada did at that time? How many of you watched Abhay? How many of you watched that scene? How did you watch Abhay then? Huh? Do you remember the scene when Calcutta was about to be bombed? What did Prabhupada do? He took Mridanga, Kartal and a few boys with him, went out in Harinam. And Prabhupada's point was that if the bomb drops, first thing was that if we chant Hare Krishna, then Krishna will take care. And even if the bomb drops and if we die chanting Hare Krishna, we'll go back to Godhead. So either way, it's all win-win situation. If we die, we'll win. If we are saved, we'll win. So that is Krishna conscious solution. If we chant the holy name, then Krishna will protect. And now again the question is, now why didn't the Japanese bomb Calcutta? They're about to bomb Calcutta. Did they bomb Calcutta? No. Why not? Because of Prabhupada's chanting the holy name. See, a pure devotee chanting the holy name can create such a difference. Do you know why communism collapsed in Russia? How many of you want to hear about that? Okay, good. See Prabhupada's inconceivable potency. Prabhupada went to Russia for 3 days. And within these 3 days, Prabhupada initiated one Russian boy. His name was Anatoly Piniev. And Prabhupada initiated him as Ananta Shanti Das. 3 days he was in Russia, couldn't even go out anywhere still. By Krishna's arrangement, he initiated one Russian boy. And that Russian boy took it upon himself to start to spread Krishna consciousness in Russia. Devotees couldn't go to Russia those days. Prabhupada could go there on an invitation of an Indologist in University of Moscow, Dr. Kotovsky. For 3 days he went and he initiated this boy, and this boy started to preach. And Prabhupada, of course, was giving him the support. Like, I tell you, Prabhupada was so concerned. You know what Prabhupada did? He was not getting association. Prabhupada got one French girl to get married to him so that he could get association. And that girl also was so surrendered that she went to Russia and stayed there. And this is how Krishna consciousness started to spread. Then, of course, as the momentum started to grow, then Harikesh Swami, he got Russian Bhagavad Gita translated into Russian language and started to smuggle this Russian Bhagavad Gita into Russia. And devotees were risking their lives. You know how they would go there? They would go to Poland. They would go to Hungary from Europe, not directly to Russia. And they would carry those books. There was a false area in the car, in the van. Like the floor of the van and the chassis, there they created one false area, and that area was filled up with books. And that's how they would carry the books to the Eastern European bloc. And then from there, from Poland and all those places, they started to send those books to Russia, and also in those countries they started to distribute. So many devotees wanted to read those books that one devotee could not have one book. Couldn't afford to have a book full. So 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita was broken into 18 different books. And they were circulating those books around. And it created such an inconceivable awareness of Krishna consciousness that Russian government became worried. They arrested devotees, they tried to convince the devotees to give up. They wouldn't give up, then they would subject them to psychiatric treatment, which means they started to give them poison in the name of psychiatric treatment. Then they send them to, even then the devotees won't give up. Then the devotees were sent to labor camps in Siberia. There was inhuman atrocities. Probably you remember in Russia, in Australia, there was a move. The Australian president made an appeal to Brezhnev. And Sri Prahlad actually sang that song that free the devotees in Russia. And so this is how, Krishna consciousness started to spread in Russia. And that in 1984, Brezhnev openly announced that 3 enemies of Russia, Russian communism, are American culture, pop music, and Hare Krishna movement. So they recognized that Hare Krishna movement was a threat to Russian communism. Now mind you, it was in 84. And 87, glasnost and perestroika in Russia. Gorbachev came and started that freedom of thinking in Russia. And Russia became free from communism. Now why did it happen? See, 84 Brezhnev says that Hare Krishna movement is the worst enemy of Russia, and by 87 Russia is free from communism. Can you set the link? Or am I daydreaming? Or am I just glorifying my commitment and conviction? This is how Krishna consciousness is going to spread in the world. This is how Krishna consciousness movement is going to change the world. Now the question is, what are you going to do about that? Are you going to commit or become just watch it from the sideline? Do you want to say something? Okay. Hare Krishna. So are you going to commit yourselves?
Yes.
Yeah, take to this process very, very seriously. Because mind you, you all are the pioneers of Krishna consciousness movement. And it's the pioneers who actually make it happen. Today Australia is Australia. Why? Because from England, those people came and they set up their colony. And they didn't even come to set up their colony actually. Australia was built by the prisoners of UK, England. They were sentenced to whatever is called exile in this God-forsaken land. But this God-forsaken land has become a paradise today because of the hard work of those people. So similarly, you have to take up the responsibility. Often I tell you what Prabhupada told me during one of our first meetings with him. Prabhupada told me, just offer this life to Krishna. Can I ask you also, repeating Srila Prabhupada, are you going to offer this life to Krishna?
Yes.
Or going to offer this life to your sense gratification? So please, take it seriously. Offer this life to Krishna. And you will see what a difference it will make even to yourself. Life after life, so many lives you have tried to enjoy in this world. That's what Prabhupada finally told me. He spoke to me for about, I don't know, for a long time Prabhupada was speaking and explaining how futile our existence is in this material nature. Then finally Prabhupada told me, just offer this life to Krishna and see what happens. Even if nothing happens, what's the loss? It's just one life out of so many. So many times we have come here. And so many times, so many lifetimes we did the same thing. Time and time and time again. What is that? Chewing the chewed. Have you heard this expression, chewing the chewed? Something that has been chewed, the juice has been extracted out of it. Now if you chew the chewed, what will you get? Do you get any juice? Or it will simply cut your palates and tongue. So don't chew the chewed. You have chewed this for so many lifetimes. Try to get some juice from Krishna consciousness. There lies the real juice. This materialistic way of life is simply running after a mirage. By running after a mirage, can you ever quench your thirst? Now if I ask you, after so many endeavors to enjoy have you really enjoyed? So, see the similarity between your endeavor for enjoyment and running after a mirage? You're running after a mirage, thinking that there will be some enjoyment. You're trying to enjoy in so many ways. But are you happy? Do you feel satisfied? Well, now I really enjoyed my life. Or you're seeing that, well, it's just running after a mirage. No matter how fast we run after the mirage and for how long we run after the mirage just runs away from us. Now Prabhupada has come and given you that information. You are running after a mirage. Running after a mirage, you'll never be able to quench your thirst. Come, there's oasis. Come with me. It's not an oasis, it's an ocean of nectar that's waiting for you. He gives us the information about the nectar, ocean of nectar, to quench our thirst to a heart's content. And not only that, he pulls out a bottle and pours a glass of water and says, drink it. Didn't that happen to us? Like, although we haven't gone to the ocean of nectar, but didn't our thirst got quenched by drinking the water that Srila Prabhupada gave us, nectar that Srila Prabhupada gave us? So take advantage. Now you know what the option is? You have two options. Whether to drink the nectar or to run after the mirage. How many of you are going to run after the mirage? No one. It's very impressive. How many of you are going to go after the ocean of nectar? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Okay, now let's dive into the ocean of nectar. Krishna got married to Rukmini. Yesterday I described about Krishna's marrying different queens. Not only 8, there are 16,000 queens. So Krishna, and the principal queen was Rukmini. From Rukmini, Krishna got a son. His name was Pradyumna. Now when Pradyumna was 10 days old, a demon called Sambarasura stole Pradyumna. Now this is a wonderful thing about Krishna's pastimes. Like Krishna creates this situation where there is intense anxiety and suffering. But by doing that, what Krishna does? Krishna teaches us a lesson that difficulties may be there, but don't become overwhelmed with difficulties. Can you imagine? Like you have a child and the child is 10 days old and the child is missing. How will you feel? Can you imagine how Rukmini was feeling? Can you imagine how everybody in the family feeling? There was so much excitement, there is so much jubilation that a child is born. Everybody becomes happy when a child is born. And now that child is gone. All of a sudden, the child couldn't be found. And it is Sambarasura who actually stole the child because he was told that this son of Krishna is going to kill him. So these are the demons. The demons get to know that somebody will kill him, and they try to prevent that happening by taking action. But can anybody reverse the arrangement of destiny, you can say? Even if you don't call it the arrangement of Krishna, but even if you consider that it's an arrangement of destiny, that is arrangement of karmic reaction, it's better to surrender to that. Because we can't reverse it, no matter how hard we try. Like see, Kamsa tried in so many ways to prevent his death, killed 6 newborn babies of Devaki, tried to send his very, very powerful associates to kill Krishna. But could he prevent his death? Do we learn something from that? Should we make some extraneous endeavor to prevent our death, or just take it easy? Take it easy, well, it will come. Whenever it comes, it will come. So why try to prevent it? Rather, as long as we are alive, let's take this opportunity to become Krishna conscious. Take this opportunity to serve Krishna. So that is the intelligent thing to do. So, anyway, Sambarasura stole that newborn 10-day-old child, Pradyumna. And he took the child to the ocean and dropped him. He thought, okay, now it's dead. But then again, can anyone reverse Krishna's arrangement? No. The child fell on the ocean, and there was a big fish swallowed up the child. You can well imagine how big the fish must be to swallow up a full, 10-day-old child. And that fish was caught by a fisherman. And the fisherman was so impressed seeing such a big fish that he caught. So he decided to offer it to the king. And who was the king? Sambarasura. So he took that fish to Sambarasura. And although he was swallowed by the fish, Pradyumna, because he was Krishna's child, he didn't die. He was still alive. Then the king saw that beautiful big gift from the fisherman. So he called his chef and said, make some nice prep out of this fish. So the fish was taken to the kitchen, and when its belly was cut, the child was exposed. And they were all surprised that the child is still alive. So there was a kitchen assistant, Mayavati. So she was the head cook, gave the child to Mayavati, that you rear this child, take care of this child. Now we have to go back to the past also at this point. You see, demigods were, when the demons attacked the demigods were told that if a son is born from Lord Shiva and Parvati, that son will be able to lead the demigods to victory against this demon. So at that time, Lord Shiva was lost in his meditation. So he was so completely absorbed in his meditation. So the consideration was that Parvati has to get married to Shiva. Now Parvati went to Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva's meditation didn't break. So demigods told Kandarpa, Cupid, you break his meditation. Kandarpa said, not me. Like, if I break his meditation and he'll get upset, then I'll be in trouble. The demigod said, other demigod said, don't worry, we'll give you the protection, we'll give you the support. It's a dire need, you see. Like, we need a son from Lord Shiva. And unless his meditation breaks and he develops his attraction for Parvati, the son will not be born. So being persuaded by that, Kandarpa or Kamdev, hiding behind a bush, shoot the arrows that arouses lusty desires in the heart. And Lord Shiva's meditation broke. And he was upset. Who broke my meditation in this way? And his glance fell on Kandarpa, and Kandarpa immediately got burnt to ashes. So, this Kandarpa was born as Pradyumna. Pradyumna actually is the transcendental Cupid. This transcendental Cupid, just as Cupid of this universe, if this nature causes attraction to the opposite sex, this transcendental Kandarpa causes attraction to Krishna in the hearts of the living entities. So Pradyumna, Kandarpa appeared as Pradyumna, as Krishna's son. And Mayavati was actually Pradyumna's wife. And so Mayavati recognized that it is actually her husband, assumed another body and appeared. And this Pradyumna, within a very short time, became fully grown. And then Mayavati started to behave with him in such a way that Pradyumna questioned that you reared me and like a mother, then how come you are approaching me in this way? Then Mayavati told the whole story, that actually I am your wife. And you have appeared to kill the Sambarasura. Now Sambarasura knows Maya, the illusory tricks. So it will be very difficult to defeat him. So she gave one mantra to counteract Sambarasura's Maya tricks. So then Pradyumna went and challenged Sambarasura. Sambarasura said, you have been brought up by my food and now you are challenging me. What kind of expression of gratitude is this? And so then Pradyumna said, I am Pradyumna. Like, it is not that I have been brought up by you. I have come here to kill you. The destiny is that you will be killed by me. And you tried to counteract the destiny by trying to kill me, but you can see that you couldn't do that. Although you threw me in the ocean, I survived. Although a fish swallowed me up, I survived. Although the fish was brought to you, given to you, and I was in the belly of the ship, a fish, still I survived. So now come and fight with me. So big fight ensued, and then Sambarasura started to use his illusory tricks. Pradyumna was too powerful for Sambarasura. So Sambarasura, he started to use his illusory tricks, like he was fighting, then all of a sudden he disappeared. And then, without being visible, he started to shoot weapons. So Pradyumna was bewildered, completely overwhelmed. So then Mayavati reminded, please remember that mantra, chant that mantra. And as he chanted the mantra, his illusory spell was destroyed. And then he saw Sambarasura. And then Pradyumna went and killed him. And then Pradyumna went back to Dwarka with Mayavati. Like a little child, 10 days old child was missing, and now the child returned as a fully grown man. And he looked just like Krishna. And so everyone in the palace, when Krishna went into the inside of the palace of Dwarka, so the ladies, Rukmini and others, they first thought that it is Krishna. Looks exactly like Krishna. But although she saw him as Krishna, but she felt affection instead of attraction towards him. And that's how she recognized, this must be my son. So this is how Pradyumna returned to Dwarka. Isn't it wonderful, Krishna's pastimes? And what did you learn from this anecdote, from this pastime? First thing is, don't try to counteract your destiny. Rather surrender unto Krishna. Whatever Krishna wants. And whatever Krishna wants is glorious. And when we surrender unto Krishna, then will Krishna treat us as an enemy or as a subservient shelter, subservient individual that needs his shelter? So all these demons, to begin with, if they surrendered to Krishna, all their problems would have been solved. But the demons are demons, so they can't do that. They can't surrender to Krishna, and that's why they are demons. So let us try to surrender unto Krishna wholeheartedly, with the full conviction that if we surrender unto Krishna, then all auspiciousness will prevail. Everything will become auspicious for us. Now another wonderful anecdote is, there was a demon called Vanasura. Vanasura had 1,000 arms. And he was extremely powerful. He was a devotee of Lord Shiva. And being blessed by Lord Shiva, he became extremely powerful. And Lord Shiva also agreed to guard his city called Shonitpur. It's interesting to consider the name. Pura means a city. And Shonit means, do you know what's the meaning of the word Shonit? Shonit means blood. The city of blood. Most really so much blood was shed there, or regularly being shed, that it was a city of blood. And that city had that illusory protection. Nobody could penetrate into that city. There was a covering, mystic covering, that nobody could enter there. And the daughter of Banasura was an extremely beautiful girl. Her name was Usha. And generally in the Vedic culture, the women stayed in the interior of the house. And generally men were not allowed in that region. Only the husband could go to his wife. And that also during night time. During the daytime, the husbands also are not allowed there in the inside. So that is how protected the Vedic household used to be. The ladies in the Vedic culture used to be. So, and the princess, Usha, was surrounded by her friends. They used to be there. Like the girl was there, the princess was there, in her own area with her own associates and friends. And so Usha had a friend called Chitralekha. Chitralekha was the daughter of the minister of Banasura. So Chitralekha was very talented and very wise. So one day Chitralekha noticed that there was something strange in the behavior of Usha. She was looking very morose, very thoughtful. So she asked Usha, Usha, what's the matter? Why you are in this state? Then Usha finally confided in her that in her dream she is regularly seeing one man. And she is overwhelmed with this handsome young man. And he is coming to her in a dream. And so Chitralekha was a very talented artist. So she started to paint different personalities, famous personalities, demigods. She painted Indra, Surya, Varun, and showed, is this the person? Usha said, no. Is this the person? No. And in this way, she painted all the illustrious personalities present at that time. But when it came to Aniruddha, then Usha said, yes, that's it. He is the one. So, so Chitralekha said, so he is the grandson of Krishna, lives in Dwarka, and gave the whole history. So Usha said, fine, but what should I do? Chitralekha considered, should I tell your father to propose for marriage? Then Usha and Chitralekha both felt that Krishna is considered to be my father's enemy. My father will never agree in such a marriage. So then Usha said, Chitralekha, I can't live without this person. My heart is completely sold out to him. So please do something. Now that I found out who that person is, my heart has become even more intensely attracted towards him. So then Chitralekha said, okay, I'll do something. So Chitralekha had the mystic power. She could fly anywhere. So at night, she went to Dwarka and she carried Pradyumna when he was, Aniruddha, when he was in his sleep, and brought him to Shonitpur. So mind you, this is the area only meant for women. He is the only man. And she was there in the house in the area, and Usha was not allowing anyone to come in there. Only Chitralekha had the access. Even her friends, maidservants didn't have. And she was spending all her time with Pradyumna. Aniruddha. And then one day her mother noticed, the maidservants actually noticed that there is a sign that's indicating that she is associating with a man. So they were afraid that how could it happen? That in this area no man can enter, and how is it possible that she is associating with a man? So they, out of fear that because if they don't report timely, then they'll be in trouble. So they went and reported to the mother. And the mother also came and saw her, and she could make out, yes, she is positively meeting some man. So she went and reported to Vanasura. So Vanasura came surrounded by his bodyguards and came into Usha's chamber, Usha's area of the palace. And at that time, he just barged into the room. And Usha was playing dice with Aniruddha at that time. So just now Aniruddha is surrounded by Vanasura and his soldiers. So he just stood up. No weapon. He didn't have any weapon with him. So he just picked up an iron rod. And with that iron rod, right in front of Vanasura, he killed all his bodyguards, single-handedly. And they were all armed. And they were probably the best of the soldiers of Vanasura, because that's why they were his bodyguards. He wiped out all the bodyguards. And then Vanasura used his mystic power and arrested him with a nagpash, a chain of snakes, with a special type of, Ravana also arrested Lakshman with that nagpash. So he arrested Aniruddha and kept him in prison. So Narad Muni went and reported to Krishna that Aniruddha has been arrested by Vanasura. And Krishna said, how dare he arrest my grandson? So Krishna with his army, with Balaram, went to Shonitpur. Mind you, that had a mystic covering. So Krishna released his Sudarshan Chakra, and the Sudarshan Chakra destroyed that covering. Then they entered in there. Lord Shiva was guarding the city. So Lord Shiva stood up to fight. Kartikeya, Lord Shiva's son, the chief of the generals of the demigods, they all came to fight. And a tremendous fight, terrible fight ensued. And eventually, Krishna released his Sudarshan Chakra. Krishna was fighting with Vanasura. So he released his Sudarshan Chakra. And because Vanasura was a devotee of Lord Shiva, Krishna didn't kill him. So this is the advantage of being the devotee of a devotee. Even one is a demon, if he is a devotee of a devotee, then Krishna forgives him. So Krishna simply cut his 996 arms and left only 4 arms. And then Vanasura came and surrendered to Krishna. Lord Shiva also was feeling very guilty. He also fell at Krishna's feet and said, please forgive me, I failed to recognize you. I get this intense pride thinking that I am Lord Shiva. And as a result of that, I even forget my Lord and Master, you. And Krishna said, okay. And then, in this way, Aniruddha got married to Usha. And now, there was a king called Pondraka. Pondraka's followers kept on telling Pondraka that he is actually Vasudeva. He is the real Vasudeva. And this Krishna Vasudeva is a fake one. So he is the real Vasudeva. And being flattered by his followers in this way, Pondraka started to think that yes, he is the real Vasudeva. So he sent a messenger to Krishna saying that your claim that you are Vasudeva is false. I am the real Vasudeva. So surrender unto me. And all these weapons, disc, mace, conch and lotus, you surrender them to me. Especially your disc and your mace. So Krishna just laughed. Everyone in the assembly laughed hearing that. And Krishna told him that, okay, go and tell your boss that I will come and meet with him. And yes, I will give him, I'll send my chakra to him. But not to his hand, but to his neck, to sever his head from his body. So in this way, these messengers would come and just report the same way they have been told. Their memory was so sharp that they could perfectly repeat like a tape recorder. So then Krishna and Balaram decided to go to Pondraka, to face Pondraka. And Pondraka had a friend, the king of Kashi. So Kashiraj also sided with Pondraka in that battle. So Krishna came with his army, and a terrible After a terrible fight, Krishna killed Paundraka. As he said, he would release his Sudarshan Chakra, and the Sudarshan Chakra went and chopped Paundraka's head from his body. And Kashiraj also, body was severed, his head was severed from his body, and his body went flying to his kingdom. And it landed right in front of his son. And the son was shocked to see that his father's head. So he decided to take revenge. So he performed a yajna to please Lord Shiva. And being pleased with him, Lord Shiva appeared to him and told him that you perform a yajna to take revenge. And so he performed another yajna, and from that yajna, from that sacrifice, a terrible demon came out. And the demon was told to go to Dwarka and destroy Dwarka. So the demon being ordered like that, he went to Dwarka. And the residents of Dwarka were completely shocked to see such a terrible demon coming. They all went to Krishna and took his shelter. Please, Krishna, please protect us, protect us. Then Krishna went and he released his chakra. And being attacked by the chakra, the demon turned around and he went back to Kashi. He killed all the priests, those who were performing the yajna. And the demon killed Kashiraj's son also. So this is how when one uses black magic, actually the black magic is ghost thing. These demons or ghosts were assigned to do something. But when they go and if they fail in doing that, then they come back and destroy those who had actually sent them. Therefore, it's a very dangerous practice to be involved into. So, this is how. Okay, I will. There were quite a few things that I thought of telling, but I will just tell another anecdote, and after that I'll invite questions. The breakfast is at 9 o'clock. Yeah. Okay, let me stop now and let me invite questions. We have about 15 minutes. Yes?
Maharaj, when an event happens to a devotee, how does the devotee understand if it's Krishna's arrangement or if it's the reaction of karma?
Oh, good question. Very good question. The safe way to approach that is, when something bad happens, you consider that to be your karma. When something good happens, you consider that to be Krishna's mercy. Right? The materialistic people think just the other way around. When something good happens, they want to take the credit for that. And when something bad happens, they blame Krishna for that. When Prabhupada was in Germany, some German people came and said that they don't believe in God. So Prabhupada asked, why don't you believe in God? They said, if God was there, then why did we lose our husbands and children in the war? Then Prabhupada told them, when you started the war, did you consult with God? You got into the war yourself, and when your children and husband die, you blame God for that. So Prabhupada's question, did you consult God when you started the work? Now why are you blaming Him? You started the work, so take the blame for yourself. So that's the safest way to look at it. Bad things happen, oh, it's my bad karma. It could have been worse, but Krishna actually saved me. And when something good happens, oh, Krishna is so kind, Krishna is so merciful.
You said Pradyumna, when he was 10 days old, was taken by a demon. Didn't Krishna know that? Who was taken by?
Krishna knows everything.
Then why?
Just like in a drama, does the hero know what's going to happen? But still he plays his role. So if Krishna's pastimes are, if it didn't happen, then somebody should have been killed, right? If this didn't happen, could that happen? No. So therefore, Krishna's pastimes are like that, like a drama. Krishna knows everything, but still he plays it like that. Yes?
Maharaj, do all the demons depict bad habits in this yuga, like Krishna fought all the demons? So do we have to fight all our bad habits and kill them?
Can you kill them? The best way is to take shelter of Krishna and let Krishna kill them. We pray and let Krishna do it. Right? And that is how, by depending upon Krishna, we develop our attachment to Krishna, develop our faith in Krishna. Right? For example, just consider, say, we had our bad habits. Like Bengalis, they're very fond of eating fish. And it's very difficult to give up that habit. So what they should do? Pray to Krishna. Krishna, please take away this bad habit. Please allow me, please give me the strength so that I can overcome this. So this is how you become free from, as you said, your bad habits. Demons, those who are in our hearts. How many Bengalis are here? So do you still feel attachment to your fish?
Eat soya, soya fish.
No, don't take that also. When you have given it up, why have some? Because ultimately it is, who knows, this taste may make us in next birth to become, now it's soya, next life it will be real stuff. So give those attachments up. Rather try to develop the attachment in mode of goodness. Vegetables have such beautiful taste. The milk, so many beautiful, delicious prasadam. All right?
One question.
Now let's deal with the soya first. Okay. So how many will go for no soya? Okay, very good. Very good. Thank you. Yeah, Bharat Shrestha, now you can.
from the story of the anecdote of Pradyumna, we understand that we should surrender. We should just not, make extra effort and things like that. How do we practically apply to the current life that we are actually in? That, we have a bank mortgage. You're practically working for a bank. Then you have medical insurance, your health insurance, then you're thinking about superannuation. If you're going to get old, we need so many properties to actually take care of ourselves. So all our life we actually surrendered to sense gratification or material gain. It's not about surrendering to Krishna. So how do we apply that?
Yeah, whatever facilities are there, try to take that, don't be like, our business is not to become fanatical. Rather intelligent approach, Like if these facilities are there, okay, we take advantage of that.
How do we use these facilities in Krishna consciousness? Is that what?
Like for example, like in Ujjain, we are having health insurance for our devotees. We are having provident fund for our devotees. So if the culture is that, let's go along with that, but don't be too attached to that. Don't depend upon them as such, right? Rather depend upon Krishna, ultimately. And whatever is there, like say for example, when we get some sort of ailment, we go to a doctor. Like, if we are not up to that level of Krishna consciousness when we can completely depend upon Krishna, then let us, like Prabhupada didn't want to go to a doctor, but only a personality like Prabhupada can do things like that. But if we are not in that level, let's not imitate the activities of the Mahabharata. So in a similar way, if certain facilities are there and, if we are living in an atmosphere where this taking advantage of those facilities become a part of our life, then let's do that. Like for example, I don't have any health insurance, I don't have any provident fund or anything. But I'm making it for the other devotees, just in case, they need it. So that is how you have to look at it. My provident fund and my health insurance are all of you. So I don't have to worry about it. Yes.
Often we are told, or I am told, use your spiritual intelligence. So what does that mean? How do I understand that?
Rather, use your intelligence spiritually. All right. You get it? Spiritual intelligence means devotional service. So use your intelligence. You see, in the material platform, what we do? We use our intelligence for our sense gratification. But we should actually use our intelligence in order to serve Krishna. Okay? Yes?
So, are you saying that it is good for us to, through listening to the pastimes and the philosophy, it strengthens our faith and it makes us more aware of Krishna consciousness? And then is it good to go and share this, get into action and share this with others, like we do kirtan?
Yes, yes.
Share these stories, these pastimes, and that way it seals it for us. We're like walking the talk, and then we go to the next level of our service.
Sure, yeah, sure.
Then it becomes real.
Then it becomes real, yeah, right.
And others can see, oh,
Right.
they're uplifted, their heart is open, their mind is awake.
Right.
Let me
Right.
follow this. This is a higher vibration.
Sure.
To the like yoga communities.
True, yeah.
That are new.
Good. Very good. Yeah. Good. Thank you. Yeah.
Just since you mentioned something about food, and you mentioned about soya, and you said you have to take milk, especially in this part of the world, the milk that's produced and that's available in our stores, it goes through a lot of slaughter. Are we actually acquiring sin because in this process, or is it okay to actually offer milk which was actually slaughtered? The cow would have gone through some slaughter. Actually, if we look at some of the things that happen in the Western world, in this whole milk producing dairy farms, they go through a tremendous, it's very heinous acts. So should we actually, is it okay to offer that milk to Krishna, or are we actually acquiring some sins in this process?
You see, our understanding is to procure anything, certain degree of sin is involved. Therefore, our way is to offer it to Krishna. And Krishna, being apapaviddha, no sin can touch Krishna. So Krishna absorbs that sin and we take that as Krishna's prasad. And my simple approach to that will be, we actually do what Srila Prabhupada has done. It's not that the cows are being slaughtered only today. Cows were being slaughtered 50 years back also. But still Prabhupada didn't say that don't take the cow's milk because the cows are being slaughtered. Rather Prabhupada said that milk is the best food. And what can be done, like, say you are taking the milk and may offer it to Krishna and then take it as Krishna's prasad. And this is how the sin part is becoming absolved. And nowadays this kind of questions are becoming prominent because of these vegan people. They are making a big thing out of it. Right? Now the thing is that, if you stop taking cow's milk, will they stop slaughtering the cows? I don't think so. Their slaughtering the cows is mainly for meat business, not for milk business. So another thing is that the vegans, with all due respect to them, they say no milk, right? Their whole culture is no milk culture. No milk product. As opposed to our culture, milk is the best food and so are the milk products. So if the cows are not slaughtered, then will the vegans start drinking milk or milk product? No. Another point is that the vegans, don't take milk because they can't digest milk. Most of the people in the West cannot digest milk. You know why? Because they are meat eaters. The meat is violence to the cow, and milk is the affection of the cow. So how can affection and violence blend together? Rather be proactive, try to create that awareness that cow killing will be stopped. By stopping to take milk products, you cannot really stop cow killing. If you really want to stop cow killing, then stop them from taking meat. Then the cow killing will automatically stop.
Cow killing will increase if we don't drink milk because they will kill cows for milk.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Anyway, that's my understanding. And this understanding, I try to derive from what Prabhupada did. And in a way, we believe in one thing, very simple principle. Just do what Prabhupada did. And don't try to introduce something that Prabhupada did not.
The answer was that means that we get into devotional service. Even in devotional service, how do we actually find out whether we are in subtle sense gratification, even in that, in the big?
Like?
I might be doing service or something, and I might want to feel recognition thing or something of that sort. How do we?
Well, if those subtle, affinities are there, it's all right. In course of time, they'll go away.
How do we actually
engage in devotional service? That's the solution to the problem. Even if you feel proud by being a devotee, fine. You are feeling pride out of devotion. You get it? That because the devotion aspect is there, it's all right. And what will happen? As you make advancement, you'll get rid of that tendency.
we don't have to do any introspection or anything like that?
Yeah, naturally. I'm saying that, if it is there, if it is there, then what can be done? Should you stop serving? That's the point. Continue serving no matter what.
How is it that such a great devotee like Lord Shiva did not recognize the Lord and fought with the Lord?
Yeah, good. We have to understand that it is Yogamaya's arrangement. Lord Shiva cannot be bewildered. Just like Brahma. Brahma is bewildered, right? Apparently. But we have to understand, question may arise, how can Brahma become bewildered? The answer is, by Yogamaya's arrangement, anything can be happened. By Yogamaya's arrangement, anybody can be bewildered. But Yogamaya is arranging the pastimes so that, we can learn a lesson. Through these pastimes, we are simply learning some lessons. Okay? Okay, thank you. Okay, last question.
Then Yogamaya is higher than Brahma, or?
Yeah. Yogamaya is higher than Brahma. Or you can say, yeah, it is. Yogamaya is higher than Brahma. But the point actually is Yogamaya's influence can bewilder anybody. Even Krishna admits himself to Yogamaya. Because if he doesn't forget his situation, he won't be able to act like that. Just like a good actor, he forgets himself to play that role. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.